Hi guys! Tonight I'm going to show you how to create this weekly meal plan in Canva. This is really handy if you're in the health and fitness industry and you're looking for a branded printable that you can give to clients. So to get this one started, we're going to need to go and grab the dimensions in pixels for creating a landscape A4 because I didn't see one in Canva's presets. So we'll come over to Use Custom Dimensions in the top right hand corner. Click on that here and I have it saved. And design. Okay, so the first step is you'll see how I've got here the 3 rows. Now to get the 3 rows even like this, I came over and I grabbed this here, left my background white, and now I can resize and I'm going to get that. They're more like a guide. I'm not actually really going to use them for much more than that. It's just so that I've got a sort of way of getting, so I need to leave room up here for the title and leave room down here for the website. I won't actually be putting photos into them. There is a cool thing you can do with these in Canva, which is changing the color. Which is how I've got that color in the background there. Okay, so the next step is building Monday through to Sunday. So come over to Elements, Shapes, and scroll down just a little bit, and over here, my trusty favorite little shape. Swing it around. When you see that line through the middle, you know that it is straight up and down. Change it to white. This part can be a little bit tricky. Can be a bit of guesswork trying to get it exactly the right height. Oh, sorry, the right width, so you can fit 7 of them across nicely. Oops, not that one. So zoom in. Oh, I forgot to add here, up in spacing. Bring this up to about 20, 25, 26-ish, somewhere around there. Just give a bit more room between the lines. Okay, so I'm going to estimate roughly about this size. Copy. And you want there to be a little bit of overlap. Change the color to the grey just next to the white here. Arrange. Back. Now you can see the start of the overlapping tabs here that will go all the way across. You can now click on one and hold down Shift, and that will select 2. And click Copy, and just drag it over. Arrange, back, and again. Same here. You can do these in any order. You can have them overlap any which way you like. This is just how I've done it for the tutorial. And again, copy. Range back. Range back. So now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I'm running out of room. So we come over here, copy, and arrange back. So you can see it's quite tricky getting exactly the right height. What you can do is select them all, group. Oh, I've missed one there. Ungroup. And undo actually. Go back. If you miss things, just undo it and then go back there. Hold down Shift Make sure to get them all. Group them. And now when you do this, it's going to resize everything in that group. Just a much faster way of doing it. Let's see if that works. So spacing better. Much nicer. Now all you need to do is just drag them down. With this one, you kind of need to zoom in so you can see where all the lines are, because it's a little fiddly. There's a lot of parts in it. You want those lines to sort of match up as best as possible. Doesn't have to be too perfect, because there's a little trick I'm going to show you at the end that tidies up these edges real nicely. Which is important if you're having this as a printout, because when it's printed, these mismatched lines become way more obvious. So just carry on across. Okay, so we have our first row here. Up, we need to grab some text for our titles. So over here, so I recommend all caps, so you can do that with your caps lock or up here. And then one letter, B-F-A-S-T. Bring it in, make it white. Awesome. Now the font I used for this one, because it needs to be a nice chunky font so that you can see it properly, which you could use Roboto, but I just used Rubik one here. And there's a cool little thing that I found. To get a center dot here, there's something called an interpunct. Copy that. If you type that into Google, it will come up like that. Now you have a nice center dot. We can come up here to spacing for the line height and just drag that in to about 1. Then make it a bit smaller, just small enough so it fits. There we go. Okay, so now we have, it's a little bit too big, we'll take that down to 18 actually. There we go. Just move to the side. So now we can select all of these guys and group them. This will just stop them from moving around too much while we do the next step, and it's required for the step after that. We can copy this, bring it over, change the color to whatever your brand color is. Purple is just the one that I'm using because it's mine. And just do this all the way to the end. I'm going to pause the recording for this part. Okay, now we have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. And this is a really easy thing to do to replicate all of this content and bring it down to the next 2 rows. So drag your mouse across everything. So you've got these highlighted and you've got this text highlighted, and then go up and make sure you get all those letters. Now you're going to see that it's done this as well. So hold down Shift and click on it, and that will deselect it. Now you can click copy, and voila. Makes life way faster. You can also use once you've sort of got it roughly in the right spot, you can use the arrow keys just to get it in the right position. And now you'll notice I had the colors alternating in the other one. So here I can just come up and go swap them around. I don't have to do anything different. Just come up here, and I just did this for visual interest so there wasn't like lines of the same color. Here. So this is a little bit of a tedious creation. I know most of the things I show are quite quick drag and drops, but I thought I'd drop in something a little bit more complicated. Not so much complicated, it just takes a bit of time. But at the end of it, you'll have something that is a really awesome little printable. I'm going to drag lunch till the intersecting lines add up. And do the same thing. Come up here, make sure everything's selected. Click Shift so that I don't select the background too. Copy and drag all the way down. So get it up there. Okay, and over here, type in dinner. Same thing, drag it sort of central. I think that one pretty much was. And just notice it isn't quite all the way to the edge. So do the same thing. There we go. Okay, so now we have our breakfast, lunch, and dinner ready to go. It's not quite centered. Sometimes the centering does need to be done more with your eyes. So if it doesn't quite look right when it sort of auto snaps with its centering, just use the arrow keys to kind of nudge it along. Okay, time for branding up here. So I've got weekly meal plan. Change that to your brand color as well. Make it nice and big and bold. I personally like all caps for titles just because it keeps everything sitting quite nicely. And then grab your logo. Now I've got a horizontal and a vertical version of my logo, so I use the horizontal for things like this. And copy your title, bring it down the bottom, and pop your website in. Then you just need to bring it out, drop it down to about 21-ish. It'll depend exactly for your font. Space it out. Cool. And now the finishing touch is those lines that really tidy it up. So come over to Elements and to Lines. And I used this one here. Make it white. May need to rejig the spacing on this background element actually. Yep, that's better. Use the arrows to sort of nudge it in the right spot. Then copy it down to here. And with this bottom one, shouldn't need to, but may need to nudge this down. Oh, wait, no, we will need to, my bad. So copy it again. Because it's on top of them, it tidies up all of the lines. So it's really important for it to be on top, and why it's important for it to be the last thing that you do. And come over here, and my computer is on the go slow tonight. Come on. Come up with a little tuning. Oh, there we go. Now I find the lines are actually a little bit awkward to try and get them to go straight. There we go. Bring that over. So it sits on these arrow keys, nudge it in on the edge there. And I use that line there as a guide for this, to keep it just on the inside of that. And voila! You can use any shapes you like for this to make it work. I would suggest actually going in to view it at 100%, because that is what it will look like when it's printed. So go in at 100% and check that everything lines up nicely. And if it does, you know that when it's printed, it's going to come out sweet. I would also suggest test printing it too before you put it up as something that you're giving away, or having it as an email lead magnet, or any number of reasons you could have it for people. Definitely test it out before you go live with it as such. Okay, so that was this week's tutorial. If you have any requests for tutorials, please feel free to get in touch with me, and I will see you next week.